Let's look at the last couple of examples. Okay, so we have negative 1 times 4y plus 1 times y plus 4 times y minus 2 minus y. So I take negative 1 and I multiply by all of that. And then I take away y. So a negative 1, a negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 4y is 4y. Okay. A negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 1 is 1. I'm about to multiply this entire answer. By y plus 4. Because remember, negative 1 times all this, and then times all this. So I got my answer. Now I have to multiply by it again. Or multiply again. So a negative times a positive is a negative. 4 times 1, if you need to see it, is 4. Y times y is y squared. So a negative times a positive is a negative. 4 times 4 is 16. Y, no y's, is y. And a negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 1 is 1. And then we have a y. And a negative times a positive is a negative. 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, let's combine these. So this just comes down. And then that becomes minus 17y. Remember, I'm combining them. I'm not multiplying. And I have minus 4. Now, the thing is, I multiplied 1. The negative 1 has 4y plus 1. I got this. And I multiplied by y plus 4. I'm still not done. I have to do it one more time. So I'm going to multiply everything by y minus 2. Oof, all right. Well, I guess I'll do it the way I did, if I can find a little space. Okay. Negative times a positive is a negative. And then if you need to see the 1, 4 times 1 is 4. Y squared times y is y to the third. And now I need to multiply the same thing by, or negative 4y squared times negative 2. Negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 2 is 8. Y squared times none, it's just, no y's, is y squared still. Now I need to do it here. A negative times a positive is a negative. 17 times 1 is 17. Y times y is y squared. Okay, a negative times a negative is a positive. 17 times 2 is 28. Y times no more y's is just y. Don't forget this last one. We have this minus 4, this negative 4. So a negative times a positive is a negative. 4 times 1 is 4. And then no y's times y is y. Almost done. I guess I can put this one up here. So negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 2 is 8. Alright, I'm going to have to combine this. I'm going to move all this up here. So I have negative 4y to the third. We don't have any more y's to the third. So negative 4y to the third, 4 cubed. So I'm going to put the squares together. The y squared, so 8 minus 17. Positive 8y squared minus 17y squared. 8 minus, so there's a difference of 17 and 8. That would be 9, but there's 9 more negatives. So I was trying to figure out how to explain that. So a negative 9y squared. So 8 minus 17. This is probably the easiest way you can think about it. That's why I always write it like this. 8 minus 17 is 9. And we have more negatives. So negative 9y squared And then we can combine this plus 28 and minus 4y. Plus 28y and minus 4y. Plus 28y minus 4y. So you can think about this as 28 minus 4 is 24y. Positive. Yeah, more positive. So plus 24y. And then we have this lone plus 8. Whew. Took some energy. So this is our last example. So we have, if you want the 1, we can put the 1 times 9 minus w times negative 3w minus 6 times 2w minus 1 minus 1 times 3w times 4. Okay, looks like there's going to be a lot of multiplication happening here. So we start off with 1, we multiply by all this. And then we subtract 1 times all of that. That one's going to be easy. I'll leave that for last. So 1 times 9 is 9. A positive times a negative is a negative. 1 times w is 1w. Okay, that's my answer, but I'm going to multiply again. Times negative 3w minus 6. Also, if you can tell, this 1 times 9 minus w, it didn't do anything. So you can actually, if it's ever a positive 1, then you know what to do. If not, then just do it the way I'm doing it right now. So a positive times a negative is a negative 27, and then a w. And a positive times a negative is a negative 54. And a negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 3 is 3. W times w is w to the second power. And then a negative times a negative is a positive. 1 times 6 is 6. No more w, so I write w. Let's clean this up a little bit before I multiply one last time there within this group. So 3w squared comes over here. So I'm trying to find room. So 6w minus 27w. So 6 minus 27 is 21. Like 21, there's 21 w's left over, and they're all negative. So 6 minus 27 is negative 21. So minus 21. Remember, we're combining, so it's just w. And then we have this lone 54, so minus 54. Okay. So just for visual sake, I will take this. Remember, I'm going to put this in because I want to multiply one more time. But I'm going to write it a little further down so it's not too squished. Okay, and then 3w squared minus 21w minus 54. I'm going to multiply all of that by 2w minus 1. Okay, so a positive times a positive is a positive. 6w, w squared times w is w to the third power. A positive times a negative is a negative 3w squared. A negative times a positive is a negative 42. W times w is w squared. And a negative times a negative is a positive. 21 times 1 is 21. There's a lot to keep track of here, so I'm trying to be careful. And we have a negative times a positive is a negative. 54 times 2 is 108. No w times w is w. And then we have negative times a negative, which is a positive. 54 times 1 is 54. Okay, So let's combine these. 6w to the third, there's no more. And then we have these w squareds. So negative 3w squared minus 42w squared. We're combining them. We're not multiplying. So I have negative 3w squared and negative 42w squared. I take away 3 of these and I take away 42 of these, so I take away 45w squareds. Okay. And then remember the w's would come next. I guess those just slide in right here. 108w, and then I have this plus 54 just relaxing over there. Okay, now I'm still not done because I finished this one group. Now I need to finish this group here. So a negative times a positive is a negative 3w. A negative times a positive is a negative 4. That's the only multiplication I needed to do up there. So I'm going to box, or I'm gonna box these in a different color. So that's my final product there, and that's my final product here. But I need to combine them. So I'm just going to look, but go back and forth. So 6w to the third, there's no more. So I'm going to write 6w to the third minus 45w squared. There's no more over there. w squared, so minus 45w squared. Looks like I might run out of a little bit of room, so I'm going to start this a little closer to here. 6w to the third power minus 45w squared. Okay, so I use this one. So I have minus 3w and minus 108w squared. So put that over here, I guess. Minus 3w minus 108w. So if I take away 3w's and I take away 108w's, then I'm really taking away 111 w's. So I took care of that and that. And minus 4 and plus 54. So you can either think of negative 4 plus 54 or positive 54 minus 4, which is 50. Positive 50. So I use that one, I use that one. This is my final simplified answer. That's it. Thank you.